Chapter 2. A Curious Encounter. Excited by their discovery, the trio pedaled their way through the winding paths of the forest, the battered walkie-talkie securely stowed in Finn's backpack. As they reached the ranger's cabin, a sturdy wooden structure nestled amidst the trees. The sun had started to set. The cabin had a rustic charm that seemed to blend naturally with its surroundings. The cozy, old-fashioned feel made it look like it had been there for a long time. They eagerly approached the park ranger on duty. Ranger Scott, a seasoned outdoorsman with a weathered face and a friendly demeanor, was busy fielding a call about park timings and camping rules. "Just a moment, folks," he said with a smile, gesturing for them to wait as he finished up the call. The scent of pine permeated the air, while the creaking of the wooden floorboards added to the cabin's cozy ambiance. Adorning the walls were photographs capturing the beauty of the park. Sweeping vistas of the Echo Cliff viewpoint bathed in the warm glow of sunset, woodpeckers flitting among the branches, and Ranger Scott standing proudly with a deer by his side, a testament to his deep connection with the wild life of the forest. As the trio glanced around the cabin, they couldn't help but feel a sense of awe and wonder at the beauty that surrounded them, both inside and out. Ranger Scott greeted them with a warm smile. "What can I do for you today?" "Hey there," Finn greeted warmly, holding up the walkie-talkie. "We found this on our bike ride in the woods. Thought we'd bring it to you." Ranger Scott's narrowed his eyes slightly as he examined the device. "Ah, another one, huh?" he remarked casually. "We get a bunch of these turning up during hiking season. People leave them behind or they get lost on the trails. It's quite common." Ranger Scott continued, "Well, I haven't heard any reports of missing items or people recently. Probably just someone's lost gadget. Happens more often than you'd think." The trio exchanged puzzled looks, somewhat disappointed by the ranger's nonchalant response. "But we thought we heard a voice," Avery chimed in hesitantly. The ranger's expression shifted, a hint of suspicion clouding his features. "A voice, you say? Are you sure it wasn't just your imagination?" Finn shook his head earnestly. "No, it sounded real. We all heard it." Ranger Scott studied them for a moment, before nodding thoughtfully. "Well, I appreciate you bringing this to my attention." Ranger Scott chuckled, shaking his head. "Probably just interference from other devices out there. Happens all the time, especially with city folk out in the woods." Finn, still intrigued by the walkie-talkie's battered appearance, spoke up. "Can we keep it then? It looks like it's seen better days and it doesn't seem to work anyway." The ranger shrugged, offering a dismissive nod. "Sure, if you want, but it's just junk." "Hey, Ranger Scott," Finn continued, "I was wondering, what happens if someone gets lost in the park?" Ranger Scott beamed with pride and explained, "Ah, good question. Well, first off, it's essential to stay calm and not wander off if you're lost. If someone does get separated from their group, we have a system in place. We conduct a search and rescue operation, starting from the last known location and spreading out from there. We also have trained search dogs to help track down missing individuals. Plus, we'll use all sorts of tools like GPS and radios to communicate and coordinate the search effort." Avery asked, "How long does it usually take to find someone?" "It depends on a lot of factors, like how well prepared the person is, the terrain, and the weather conditions. But our priority is always to ensure everyone's safety and get them back to their loved ones as quickly as possible," said Ranger Scott. Ranger Scott added, "Just remember, it's essential to stay on designated trails and be prepared when exploring the park. That way, we can avoid these situations altogether." With a mix of disappointment and curiosity lingering in their minds, the trio bid farewell to Ranger Scott and ventured back into the woods. As they pedaled along the familiar trails, the walkie-talkie safely tucked away, they couldn't shake the feeling of uncertainty. "Do you think we heard a voice?" Lila pondered aloud, breaking the uneasy silence. Finn shrugged. his mind still occupied with thoughts of the old device. Who knows? Maybe it was just static, or maybe our imaginations were playing tricks on us. But it sure felt real. Avery nodded in agreement. Yeah, it was kind of spooky, wasn't it? But hey, at least we got a cool souvenir. With a shared sense of intrigue and a touch of apprehension, the trio continued their journey through the woods, the mystery of the walkie-talkie lingering in their minds like a whisper in the wind.